Imagine working at the most secret military base on Earth for 50 years and never telling your wife where you went every morning. Imagine boarding a plane with blacked-out windows, landing in the middle of the Nevada desert, and walking into a facility that officially doesn't exist. Now, imagine that inside that facility, you aren't just testing new jets. You're sitting across a table from someone or something that isn't from this world. For decades, we've been told that Area 51 is just a testing ground for experimental aircraft. But whistleblowers, high-ranking scientists, and elite pilots have begun to unseal a different story. It's a story that starts with a nuclear blast in 1953 and ends with a shocking revelation about the future of the human race. This is the story of the Kingman crash, the secret facility known as S-4, and the entity known as J-Rod. Our story begins on May 19, 1953, at Yucca Flat, Nevada. At 5:05 a.m., a massive nuclear test, part of the Upshot Knothole series, illuminated the desert sky. But as the mushroom cloud rose, something else appeared in the sky. Within seconds of the blast, a disc-shaped object was seen descending at incredible speeds, heading south toward Las Vegas before vanishing into the mountains 2 days later. The government assembled a team of 40 engineers for a curious assignment. They were bussed from Phoenix to the outskirts of Kingman, Arizona. When they arrived under the cover of night, they saw it, a 40-foot diameter, disc-shaped craft. It was perfectly intact, not a single scratch on its metallic surface, but it wasn't empty. Military personnel at the site reported 4 beings associated with the craft. This wasn't just a retrieval mission. It was a first contact event. The craft and its occupants were immediately whisked away to a remote location in the Nevada desert known as Groom Lake. At the time, it was just a bare-bones airstrip, but the presence of this alien technology would eventually turn it into the legendary Area 51. Why Groom Lake? Because it was surrounded by a ring of mountains, far from prying eyes. The man who chose this location was none other than Clarence Kelly Johnson, the legendary head of Lockheed's Skunk Works. Johnson was the mind behind the U-2 spy plane and the P-80 Shooting Star, the first U.S. jet fighter. But Johnson had a secret of his own. In December 1953, just months after the Kingman crash, he and his colleagues reported seeing a UFO that defied every known law of physics. Instead of being penalized for his report, Johnson was tasked with founding Area 51, while the public was told the base was for testing U-2 planes. Researchers believe the real work was happening underground. Mining experts have even discovered evidence that the government has been expanding Area 51 downward, not outward. They use heap leaching, a process that uses chemicals to dissolve massive amounts of excavated dirt to hide the scale of their underground digging. This hidden infrastructure reportedly includes a vast web of interconnected bases and even a secret high-speed underground subway system connecting Area 51 to NORAD in Colorado and secret labs in New Mexico. Within the vast complex of Area 51 lies an even more secretive facility, known as Site 4 or S-4. David Frioff, an elite pilot who flew the state Route 71 Blackbird, recalls his time working at the base between 1979 and 1985. Every morning, he would fly from Las Vegas on Janet Airlines. When the plane landed at Area 51, a select group of scientists and military personnel wouldn't go to the hangars. Instead, they boarded a separate bus that headed in a different direction toward S-4. This is the exact same facility described by the famous whistleblower Bob Lazar. Lazar claimed he was hired to reverse engineer alien propulsion systems at S-4. While critics attacked Lazar's story for years, Frioff recently revealed that people who worked for him at the base admitted to seeing Bob Lazar there. The mission at S-4 was simple but impossible. Understand technology that was thousands of years ahead of our own. But the most incredible claim doesn't involve the ships. It involves a survivor. Multiple whistleblowers, including former Navy pilot Bill Uhouse and microbiologist Dan Barash, have come forward with the story of J-Rod. J-Rod was an entity allegedly recovered from the 1953 Kingman crash. He didn't just sit in a cell. He reportedly worked with the U.S. government for decades. Bill Uhouse claimed he worked directly with J-Rod in an underground lab in the Papoose Mountains. According to Uhouse, J-Rod could speak, though he sounded like a parrot repeating human words. and he provided essential engineering and scientific advice to the U.S. military. Dan Barash, hired as a microbiologist to care for J-Rod's health, spent years interacting with the entity. But what J-Rod revealed during those years was far more disturbing than any alien invasion story. According to Dan Barash, J-Rod wasn't an alien from another planet. He was a human from our own future. The story J-Rod told was of a coming global cataclysm, a catastrophe that would eventually split the human race into two different species. One of these species was forced to live underground for thousands of years to survive. Over time, living in the dark, they evolved insect-like traits, large eyes, gray skin, and thin limbs. This theory strangely mirrors the legends of the Hopi and Navajo people, who speak of a transition period where humanity had to go underground and live with the ant people to survive a destroyed world. If J-Rod is real, he isn't a visitor from the stars. He's a warning from our own descendants, trying to help us reverse engineer technology that might prevent the very disaster that created him. If you look at human history, something strange happened in the mid-20th century. For 5,000 years, we moved slowly, from horses to carriages, from candles to oil lamps. Then, suddenly, between 1950 and today, we leaped from basic radio to smartphones, the internet, and stealth technology. How is that possible? Senior scientists like Boyd Bushman of Lockheed Martin, who held 27 patents, claimed before his death that the 21st century was literally built on retrieved extraterrestrial technology. Bushman claimed he was given pieces of UFOs to study in his lab, materials made of elements like palladium and germanium that could fly using anti-gravity that he even claimed that at least 18 extraterrestrial entities were operating within U.S. facilities, helping us leapfrog our own development. From fiber optics to integrated circuits, many researchers believe we didn't just invent this world, we were coached into it. The collaboration didn't stop at Area 51. According to Chaplain Frank Strange, who held top-secret clearance, a human-looking extraterrestrial named Valiant Thor landed in Virginia in 1957. Valiant Thor allegedly didn't come to conquer. He came to advise. He was taken directly to the Pentagon and met with President Eisenhower. His message was one of concern regarding our use of nuclear weapons, the very weapons that may have caused the Kingman crash just a few years earlier. For years, Valiant Thor allegedly acted as an ambassador from the stars, influencing U.S. policy and helping the government navigate the dawn of the atomic age. In 2013, the CIA finally admitted that Area 51 existed. They claimed it was just for testing the U-2 and 117 stealth fighters. But they said nothing about the Kingman crash, nothing about S-4, and nothing about J-Rod. The government gives us the minimal amount of information required to keep us quiet. But when you look at the testimony of pilots like David Freoff, engineers like T.D. Barnes, and scientists like Boyd Bushman, a different picture emerges that we aren't alone, and we haven't been for a long time. Whether they are visitors from another galaxy or travelers from our own dark future, they are here. And as the unsealed files continue to leak, we may soon find out that the most important part of human history didn't happen in the past. It's happening right now, in the silent, lightless tunnels beneath the Nevada sand. If you enjoyed this story, help us by hitting that like button and subscribe to Unsealed Mysteries for more thrilling stories. Until next time.